What if I told you there's one Bible verse so powerful, so dangerous to the kingdom of darkness, that the devil will do anything to keep you from discovering it? Because once you truly understand it, everything in your life changes. Not gradually, not someday, immediately. Because this one verse doesn't just comfort you, it arms you. It doesn't just bless you, it exposes every hidden trap the enemy set for you. The verse is not hidden, yet it remains invisible to many. It's quoted, it's read, but it's rarely believed in the depths where strongholds are shattered. The devil doesn't fear the Bible on your shelf, he fears the truth you understand and apply. And this verse, when it becomes your weapon, breaks chains the enemy has secretly placed on your mind, your emotions, your finances, your purpose, and your identity. You've heard it before, maybe even memorized it, but if you knew what it really meant, you would stop living in fear, in defeat, in compromise. The verse is James 4:7, submit yourselves then, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. The enemy hopes you never realize the authority that's wrapped inside those words, because this verse doesn't ask you to beg, it calls you to submit. It doesn't suggest that the devil might go away, it declares he will flee. Not maybe, not sometimes, but always when you meet the condition. This is not just a verse, it is a battle plan. It's a divine command that flips the power dynamic completely. Because Satan doesn't fear your feelings, he fears your submission, he fears your obedience. He fears when you stop negotiating with temptation and start walking in authority. Every attack, every whisper, every delay, every discouragement loses its grip when you activate this verse. It's not passive, it's not poetic, it's war. And the moment you choose to stop playing the victim and start resisting, everything changes. The enemy doesn't flee because you cry, he flees because you resist. But submission comes first. That's the secret. That's the part the devil desperately wants to blur in your mind. He wants you to skip that step. He wants you to resist without surrendering, to fight in your own strength, to quote scripture without submitting to its author, because submission is power. Submission is alignment. Submission is where your authority is born. It's the place where God backs your stand with heaven's fire. This verse is a divine equation. Submit to God, then resist the devil, and he will flee. The enemy knows the formula. That's why he tries to make you rebellious. That's why he feeds your pride. That's why he distracts you with sin that looks harmless. Because every time you delay surrender, you delay victory. He doesn't mind you singing worship if your heart is not submitted. He doesn't mind you quoting verses if your life is still your own. But the moment you surrender your will, your plans, your opinions, your habits, your emotions, he panics. Because now, you're not just a believer, you're a threat. You become someone who's not easily moved, someone who doesn't collapse under pressure, someone who speaks, and darkness trembles. Because submission connects you to the throne room. It places your resistance under divine authority. You're not swinging blindly, you're striking with heaven's precision. Every time you say no to sin, no to fear, no to compromise, you're resisting. Every time you choose humility over pride, truth over feelings, purity over pleasure, you're resisting. And the devil can't stand it. He cannot dwell where there is submission to God. He cannot thrive in a surrendered atmosphere. That's why he attacks your consistency. That's why he tempts you with shortcuts. That's why he makes rebellion look like freedom. But true freedom begins with surrender, and this verse is the devil's nightmare, because it exposes his powerlessness. He thrives on deception, but this verse reveals the truth. He whispers, "You're too weak," but the verse shouts, "Submit and resist." He lies, "You'll never change," but the verse says, "He will flee." Not because you're strong, but because God is. Not because you're perfect, but because you're positioned. The most dangerous believer is not the loudest, it's the most submitted. The one who doesn't just talk about God but walks with him. Who doesn't just study the word but lives it. This verse is the devil's defeat notice. It reminds him that his reign is not final, his lies are not permanent, and his grip is not unbreakable. When you submit to God, you're saying, "Your will, not mine." You're placing yourself under divine covering. And under that covering, the enemy has no legal ground. He can bark, but he cannot bite. He can accuse, but he cannot condemn. He can tempt, but he cannot conquer. Not when you're submitted, not when you're resisting. The secret isn't in shouting louder, it's in surrendering deeper. That's why Jesus submitted to the Father even unto death. That's why he resisted in the wilderness with the word, not emotion. He showed us the pattern, and now it's yours to follow. This one verse, simple, short but dangerous, holds the power to shift your entire spiritual atmosphere. It's not about head knowledge, it's about heart alignment. Are you truly submitted, or are you just surviving? Because submission is the soil where victory grows. You've been trying to cast out what you're still entertaining, trying to resist what you haven't fully surrendered, and the enemy knows it. That's why you feel stuck. That's why the attacks repeat, because partial submission is still rebellion. But when you lay it all down, When you say yes to God without conditions, the devil loses his grip, and not gradually, he flees. That word means to run in terror, to escape quickly. Because your resistance, under God's authority, is a divine eviction notice. No demon can override it, no curse can outlast it, no bondage can withstand it. The enemy hopes you never live this verse. He hopes you keep quoting it without activating it. But today you've been warned, you've been awakened. This verse is not just encouragement, it's a weapon. It's not for display, it's for battle. So what will you do? Will you live a life the devil tolerates? Or will you live a life he fears? Will you stay passive? Or will you submit and resist? Because the moment you do, the enemy's plans collapse, and the freedom you've been praying for, it begins right there. The devil knows it, now you do too. So act like it, live like it, fight like it, submit to God, resist the devil, and watch him flee. That one verse could change everything, if you let it. If this message spoke to your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Drop your prayer requests or testimony in the comments section. We're building a family of faith that prays together and grows together. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a word from God through this channel. Let's walk this journey of truth and victory together. God bless you.